Do you think UFOs, the paranormal, weird history, cryptozoology, and outsider art are pretty darn cool? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to High Strangeness with your host, Steve Berg.
The video version. Hello, friends. Welcome back to High Strangeness. Tonight, I have two amazing guests. This is the first time I've ever had two guests on a show, so this is quite exciting for me. I have Nicole and Noelle from the Quite Unusual podcast, one of my absolutely very favorite shows for a multitude of reasons. First off, it's incredibly informative. They pick these wonderful kind of paranormal true crime stories. But here's the thing. They're so fucking funny. You ladies crack me up. What's the deal with Chicago people? They're all funny.
I mean, it's all the
I don't know. It's
hot dogs in the water, you know.
Hot dogs in the... Are you guys Chicagoland people? Or Chicagoland a thing people shouldn't say? Is that stupid?
No.
Oh, yeah. Chicago. I would say Chicagoland.
Chicagoland, we say it.
Yeah, and that just kind of like Skokie, like Evanston, and that's all, right?
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time in Chicago. I love it there.
It's great. Us too.
It's great.
Born and raised. So.
Born and raised, never left.
Yeah.
Are you guys really both? Oh wow! So do you guys? That kind of gets me into my question. I'm sure you've talked about before, and I'm sure. I hope I don't want to be annoying, but like, how did you guys meet?
Oh, it's my favorite story.
Oh, it's a good story.
Good.
Take it away, Noelle.
Wait, I'm gonna do that thing because people never know who we are. So I'm Noelle,
and I am Nicole.
because no one ever knows who is who, like on our show.
I was right away. By the way, like your names fit. It's very obvious to me.
Thank you. That's because you know us, Steve. That's why.
Yeah. I know.
That's right. So we met our sophomore year of high school. We went to the same high school. We grew up like 5 minutes from. Can I swear on this? I'm sorry.
Please, I encourage it.
Yeah. This isn't like going on like public like.
No, it's
children's
an NPR show, but yeah, no, it's cool.
Okay. We grew up like 5 minutes from where we live right now. Like we're like local.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
same town.
Yes.
Never left.
Well, we left and then we came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to do it though.
Sucked it us right back in.
That's what it does. So we met our sophomore year of high school and we didn't know each other at all. We were in the same gym class.
Yeah.
And we were doing like this. I don't know if you did this at your school. We were doing a swimming, like where we had to swim. It was like the winter.
And I hated it. Everyone hated it, by the way.
So bad. It's a nightmare. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I need to know how to swim, but like, do I have to do it as like a weird, awkward teen in the middle of January?
Especially as a girl getting your hair wet. It's just not great. It's not great.
I didn't like it either. I don't think anyone does.
No.
You don't want to get wet when you're a teenager, you know?
No, you don't want to be in a bathing suit. Like,
stay dry. Yeah, right?
Yeah. You're like, oh, I have a crush on them. Let me just get into this weird bathing suit. And yeah, that's cool. I'm having a great time right now. So we were doing swimming, and we both had the same idea. Great minds think alike. To not swim that day.
We just didn't want to do it.
So we were hiding in the bathroom.
For some reason, we thought that if we hid in the bathroom, the teacher wouldn't realize that we weren't in the pool swimming.
Right.
So we were just hiding in the bathroom, and then the teacher comes in, and she sees our feet, and we're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, we were like, "Hi, it's nice to meet you. Let's go hide in this bathroom stall."
Yeah. That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
That is great. You guys were both like, "No, I'm sitting this one out," and you know what? Teacher be damned. So you guys didn't lift your feet. So that's a little recommendation to young high school people all over. If you're going to commit to hiding in the bathroom, tuck those feet up. You
got to do it. But Nicole, our little improv queen. So the gym teacher comes in and she's like, girls, are you okay in there? Because we're both in like the handicap.
She can see us. She knows.
Yeah, like, we're both in there.
Right.
She's like, what's going on? And Nicole immediately starts fake crying.
Perfect.
Cry command.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who this is, but I want to be her best friend forever. Right. And the teacher's like, oh, are you okay? So I open the door. I'm like, she's just her dog, her dog.
And I was just like,
And
That is amazing.
And it totally worked.
100%. She's like, take all the time you need. You need the week off of swimming. Totally.
We got to sit on the side. We didn't have to swim. We didn't get in trouble. And we were just instantly best friends.
Yeah.
And so Noelle just kind of yes-anded right away.
Absolutely.
And just went along with it. You guys, you were in sync right away, because that sometimes takes years to develop, if ever.
It was instantaneous.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of
beer too.
It kind of brings me to something, because I know, oh gosh, and this is like months ago. I was driving and I was listening to your guys' show, and I was on a little road trip to Denver, Colorado. And Denver's a great place. Got a bunch of buddies there. I love it. I go there often. And listening to your show, you guys are passing the time. I'm giggling along. And one of you, and I can't remember who, mentioned yes-anding.
Oh, yes.
So I have a question. You know, I was actually going to ask you guys. I had it written down. I think, did you guys meet in an improv class? Because you guys, I studied like Chicago style improv. Like I did Second City Improv Olympic for a long time. And I feel like game recognizes game. And you guys have like a really like natural yes-anding improvisational quality about your show and you guys.
Compliment.
Yeah, that is, I think, the greatest compliment I've ever received.
Oh, thank you. I mean it genuinely. And I've told like Jessica and Tenny this too, because I feel like they're, to me, like just a comedy duo.
Yeah.
And you guys kind of, I feel like are a comedy duo as well. Yet you talk about interesting, high, strange, weird, Fortean things with a lot of conviction, and the love is there. But one thing I really love about your guys' approach is that you understand that this stuff is also funny.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, it has to be.
Like, I'm sorry, if we're going to talk about aliens probing, I'm not going to laugh.
Yeah. Right. Like,
life is funny.
You got to laugh at everything.
If you're not laughing, you're crying.
I think so too. And I feel like people out there, I would give them like, I mean, I don't know. It depends how you see the world. I'm looking at the world right now and I'm pretty scared because it's not great, in my opinion.
The jokes.
But, right? Developing gallows humor, though, can save us, because if we can still laugh during these awful crises that happen day after day, like you think you've seen it all, then 5 minutes later you go on Twitter like, oh my God, it's even worse, So
yeah.
But I feel like, even when you guys are tackling difficult subjects on your show, or if it's like a true crime thing, you are able to find the funny moments in there without like making fun of the trauma or the horrific thing that happened. But that is such a rare talent, and I think that's what like originally drew me to your show. I'm like, God, they're so funny. Yet I like learned about this thing I had no idea about.
Thank you so much. Honestly, huge compliment. You're amazing.
We've actually never we've never taken an improv class at all. We're all
really,
we're just homegrown, friendship, feeding off of each other. So, and thank you for thinking that we're somewhat trained, because we are not.
I have to say,
I mean, please.
Sorry, we pride ourselves on being able to, like, in the true crime, like, especially, because there's some episodes that we have that are heavier, and like a heavy topic. I mean, we try to keep it light, try to keep it, a little fun, little entertainment, a little bit without ever making fun of the victim, without ever making fun of trauma, any of that. But if you can pull out things like, oh, the killer was identified because he had horrid ass pimples. We're gonna make fun of that.
Make fun of that. It's a fine line.
It's funny. Sure. It's so funny. But I think gosh, like I think there are other shows, and even like books. I'm obsessed with this stuff, right? And I've been reading about it my whole life. And there are certain authors or podcasters or just personalities in these fields who I think try to be funny sometimes, and they just fall flat in their face. And it's God bless them for trying, but like. I wonder, I feel like there's something about Chicago, because I lived in LA for 20 years, and most of my friends still are from Chicago, because like so many people in LA, did Second City Improv Olympic, then moved out there and kept on doing it in LA. And so that was kind of my friend base with all these Chicago people. And they're all just, they have a weird, and weird maybe isn't the right word, but like they have this interesting perspective on life.
Yeah.
Where bits are just part of the culture of Chicago. Doing bits.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Our motto is commit to the bit. Like, if you don't commit to the bit, man.
You got to push it past that point where like people are like getting a little uncomfortable. Like you're not sure if you're even having a good time. And then it comes full circle and everyone's like,
just like,
this guy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, they always say, you know, in comedy, it comes in like the rule of 3s, 5, and 1,000,000. So like if you do it after 3 times, it's not funny. Boom, you go to 5. And if it's not funny after 5 times, but if you go to 1,000,000 times, just keep on hammering it in. Eventually, it's going to be the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah. Like Stockholm syndrome.
It's exactly right.
Very similar.
It's almost identical.
I have a couple quick Chicago-based questions because I like to ask Chicago people, just kind of get a poll going out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Is jardinara? First off, I was wondering if you could explain to my listeners what jardinara is. Am I saying it right?
Jardinera?
Jardinera, yes.
Like the air that we breathe, jardinera.
Yes.
Yes. So jardinera is it's a topping. It's a side. It's a salad. It's a condiment. It's anything you want it to be. It's literally, it's freedom in a jar. It's like,
it's delicious, delicious freedom.
It's like pickled vegetables.
Yeah.
There's usually some like hot peppers. There's mild jardinera out there too.
Peppers, carrots, onions, olives,
cauliflower.
Yeah, cauliflower, which you'd think would be weird, but it's not.
It's amazing.
So good.
The carrots are like zigzag shaped for some reason. Almost
they
always.
are. How do they do that?
Nobody knows. I think they grow that way here.
It's magic.
Yeah. It's a Chicago thing. But and then it's soaked in olive oil for probably 6 generations underground, and then they dig it up. But you put this stuff on pizza, hot dog, whatever you want. This stuff is absolutely amazing. And, I've never done that.
So good.
You got to.
It's so good.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I order it online. I ordered like the actual stuff they have in all Chicago places. It's got like that yellow label.
Oh yeah, it's like the red lid.
Yeah, because it's. Oh, it's so good. Oh, well, thank you. So yeah, jardinara, it's everywhere. You're confirming it for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, because you put it on Italian beef sandwiches, which is also a Chicago specialty. So yeah, it goes with everything.
It does. It goes with everything.
It does. It's so great. Okay, and here's my last food-based question. I say that, and it's definitely not going to be. I'm always hungry. Now, in Chicago, when you're an outsider, you're always like, oh, Chicago deep dish, Lumonati's, that big, heavy thing, which I love, I respect. But I must say, I am very into the Chicago thin crust tavern style. Square cut pizza. I enjoy that. Now, for a Chicago person, is the deep dish the pizza of Chicago? Or, because I've met some people who are like, I don't know, I grew up on tavern.
See, I think I definitely grew up on tavern, but if I had to choose between the two styles, it's deep dish all day. And Pequod's. You have to go to Pequod's for deep dish.
Steve, next time you come here, we'll take you to Pequod's.
Pequod's all day.
Is the single greatest pizza on the planet. It's somewhere in between deep dish and pan, and it's a moment. Yeah. It is an event. Pequod's is just delicious. If there's a heaven, it's in a Pequod's.
Everyone always talks about Luminati's or Giordano's, and like they always sleep on Pequod's, but Pequod's that's the one. It's the one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, living in LA for like 20 years, and my Chicago buddies, they would talk about Pequod's, but we couldn't get it delivered out there.
Oh yeah.
But like in the Super Bowl, we'd always get a bunch of Luminati's and stuff. And look, it's great pizza. It's but Pequod's, I have heard from multiple trusted Chicago sources that's where the locals go. They may send the tourists to Luminati's, but
it is the one.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like a deep dish pizza is like it's the tourist pizza. Like it's delicious. I'm not going to. First of all, if you give me cheese and bread in almost any formation, I will eat it and say thank you very much. May I have another?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like tavern pizza is like your everyday pizza, and deep dish is like it's like an event pizza.
Yes, for sure.
It is. It's kind of one of those things where like you maybe don't. It's like a bad hangover. You want to kind of clear your schedule the next day because it's heavy. It's heavy duty, and I can't help myself. I will eat enough for 10 people.
Oh, so
and then my tummy will hurt for a little while because I,
immediately regret
of
it.
cheese.
It's a good hurt.
Yeah,
it is. It is a good pain. It is. I totally agree. Okay, I'm going to get into some more. I'm so sorry. My questions are all over the place, but by design, I don't like to stick on anything too long.
Like it.
So, okay, so there was some Chicago Mothman sightings. In the last 10 years, it's been, Mothman seems like it is visiting Chicago, maybe for the Jardinera, maybe for the tavern style, maybe for the Thick Crust, maybe it's taking improv classes.
Maybe.
But what do you guys know, and what's your thoughts on this Mothman situation?
I want you to go first.
So Mothman, which is kind of scary because we've always seen Mothman when we've seen Mothman, it's the Silver Bridge collapse. And
right.
So some people say it's an omen that something bad is going to happen.
Right.
So Mothman has been sighted in Chicago, like you said, for 10-ish years.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, but he's been being sighted near O'Hare Airport, which is extremely unsettling because that's the airport we fly out of. And if he's an omen for something bad to happen, it's is a plane gonna crash? That's not, I don't want to hear that. Right. And we also actually live close to O'Hare Airport too. So we're
10 miles.
Yeah,
maybe,
we're extremely close to it. So
whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing. I don't want my harbingers of doom. I mean, I don't want them hanging around at all. No offense, Mothman, but especially at the airport, I think you're right. That's not ideal at all. I also once heard that there is a very haunted cemetery right by the O'Hare.
Bachelor's Grove.
Yeah. For sure.
That sounds
we have an episode on that. Yeah,
we do.
You really? Ooh.
We do. Yeah. Can I just add one more thing to the Mothman thing? Though?
Please.
So I have a personal theory that Mothman and his beautiful juicy booty.
Oh yeah.
There is not but one Mothman, but there are many moth people. Sort of like a whole, clan of the Mothmen or whatever.
Right.
And sometimes maybe he's just hanging out there. Maybe he's just at the airport. There's a lot of birds happening. There's a lot of deer happening. Maybe he's hunting. Maybe he likes the views. Maybe maybe he's just vibing
he's a big
out.
airplane enthusiast.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's his home base, and then he commutes to the Silver Bridge when there's an emergency. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of open fields. There's a lot of, it used to be an Air Force base too. Maybe there's a lot of weird stuff buried there.
Ooh, no, we're getting spicy. Okay, I like this a lot. Ooh, okay, so but Mothman, I feel is it like a story there that other people care about, or is it just weirdos who care about it? Is it in the local newspapers and stuff, these Mothman sightings, or no, it's not a thing.
Yeah, it's just random. Yeah, we'll catch an article or something on a weird news site, and then we see it, or someone will send it to us because they know obviously we're weird people and we live in the area. But yeah, the news is not reporting this.
No,
which is
for sure.
They'll come around.
Ding.
And Noelle, I think you bring up a great point that I feel I remember when I was a kid that I watched or had this Bigfoot book that was a school, in my school library. It was a very cheesy book, but they talked about Bigfoot like it was one creature who was just getting around, And I think eventually people are if there is a Bigfoot, it could be multiple creatures. But you're right. So I think everyone always thinks of the Mothman as one entity. Yet there's been flying winged humanoid cases. I mean, we have a couple in Nebraska. You can't be covering that much ground, or she. So we don't know the sex of Mothman.
We don't know.
It's probably all genders. I mean, as an ultra terrestrial being, why even pick one gender? Who knows? Man?
Right. It's gender neutral.
Yeah. That's right.
And it kind of brings me to something I think about all the time with Bigfoot, and that is, the Patterson-Gimlin film, the most famous, big, and we know it, we love it. It's a beaut. It's a beaut.
Yes.
But it's kind of been agreed upon in mainstream Bigfootology, if that's a word, that Patty is a female because it, has some anatomical female, parts.
Yeah.
Yet, on every Bigfoot show, every Bigfoot lecture I've ever seen, they always go, he. They always refer to Bigfoot as a he, yet the most famous Bigfoot we've ever seen is a she. What's the deal with that?
We need more feminism in the paranormal is all I'm saying.
I mean, for sure.
Female representation. That's what we need.
We have the Loch Ness Monster. She's a sleigh. We have the Flatwoods Monster. I mean, the Sheikahs of the cryptids. I'm just going to say those Fresno Nightcrawlers, they're strutting better out there than Kendall Jenner. So they're clearly ladies. Let's be honest.
Definite.
Why can't our Bigfoot, wear a stiletto, wear a combat boot? Why can't she, she's a versatile girl.
Mama
she's out
Bigfoot.
there slaying. Yeah, Bigfoot is mother, I think, is what we can all agree on.
Bigfoot is mother.
That's right.
Bigfoot is mother. Oh, wow. It is the bipedal walking embodiment of Mother Earth, perhaps.
Exactly. Bam. There it is.
Whoa, we're breaking up. This is some pretty profound stuff we're kind of getting at here.
Someone called us right now. We need a show.
It is interesting to me because I went to the Nebraska Bigfoot Convention last spring, it was a hot weekend. Let me tell you, I was wearing my jean jacket, feeling pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But even like the two female speakers who are, Bigfoot ladies, hunters or whatever they want to call themselves, they kept on referring to Bigfoot as a he. And no one else was like, I for some reason, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
I think because it is like big and like, potentially dangerous that they just assume it's a male.
And smelly.
If I may be provocative for a moment,
please.
Bigfoot's walking around, right? Not wearing pants. So there's nothing swinging like a grandfather clock in between those legs. I'm saying there's more evidence.
Maybe all
the lady.
Bigfoot's a girl.
Well, maybe they're all ladies. Maybe they don't need men to procreate.
That's right, girl.
Ooh,
which eventually will be the case for humans, probably like in 2 years. We're obsolete, fellas. Get your kicks in while you can. It's just true.
I mean, but maybe it's like a lion situation where like the females go out and they do the hunting and the males stay back with the young in like their little caves or whatever. Who knows? Who knows what their gender roles are, right? So
that's true. They could be so different from ours.
I would think so. Yeah, so I feel like we're really unlocking some stuff here.
Yeah.
We are. This will probably go down in history as one of the most important conversations about high strangeness in general. I think this is we're making history here tonight.
Breaking ground.
In 25 years, we're gonna come back to this and say they were right the whole time.
They were right. Yeah. They will erect statues of the three of us, and maybe in front of Pequods if we're lucky. Wouldn't that be something? Then we've made it. I haven't even had it yet. It's already my favorite pizza.
Well, when you come, let us know, and
we'll take you.
I will. Oh, well, yes. We'll have some cold beers. We'll get some pizza.
Yes,
we'll take in some improv.
Oh yeah, we'll pour in Malort.
Have you ever had?
I love Malort.
I
have.
I love Malort.
There he is.
I don't mind. In fact, I will say this. I had my friend was having a little party a few weeks ago at the bar he owns, and he lives in Chicago for a long time. And he was like, we had been drinking for a few hours, and he's like, should we all do Malort shots? And then we all thought it was so funny because it's so bad. Although I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. But, it became like kind of like an ironic thing. And then we kept on taking shots of Malort. And then the next day I was demolished. Just destroyed.
Yes. It'll get you. For sure. Yeah. I don't mind. I would rather take a shot of Malort than a shot of vodka.
I agree with that. So actually,
yeah, it's not that bad. And like people say, I heard someone describe when we were taking. Someone was like, "Well, what's it taste like?" And they were like, "Bug spray." And I'm like, "That's rude. It does not."
It's bitter.
Or like I've described it as like a nail polish remover, like acetone. Like it kind of is that taste too.
Burn.
Yeah. I enjoy. I'm pro Malort. In fact, folks, if you have not had it, go get yourself a bottle of Malort.
Oh yeah.
Maybe don't have it neat or like as a cocktail. I think you got to shoot it, perhaps.
Yeah, you have to shoot it.
But if you mix it with grapefruit juice and like simple syrup, it's actually like it's kind of great.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it cuts like that like acetoniness.
Right.
It's quite nice.
I think a kind of a boss move would be to go to like some dive bar and go, Malort on the rocks. And they'd be like,
leave
okay.
Yeah.
Leave the bottle. Oh my God, it's so funny to me. Okay, so one more kind of O'Hare question while we're still in that area. Is it 2006 or 2008? My brain is mashed potatoes.
2023, Steve. Are you okay?
No, I'm not. It's not 2008. 30 Rock's not still on. Oh no! Wouldn't that be great? Oh, what a show! But the kind of the famous Chicago O'Hare UFO sighting that, like, was at the United Terminal. What's going on? I mean, like, how do we get? Supposedly there was pictures going around, and Dan Aykroyd bought some pictures for like $1 million. But it seems like well, I don't know if that's true. This is just what I I think I saw it on Reddit. So I mean, whatever. But Aykroyd, if you have these, let him. We want to see, babe.
Yeah,
like, let's see the goods.
Show them.
That's right, Danny. We know you're listening.
Right? Thank you, Danny. Are you there?
Danny.
Dan, babe. Is there any way you guys can just march over to O'Hare, being who you are, with some status in Chicagoland,
for sure,
and say, "Hey, what's the deal with that UFO? We'd like to see some action."
Yeah. We'll do it after this. Actually,
I think we'll get like arrested or anything for like demanding.
No, I think it'll be fine.
What's up with
what's the deal with the alien?
UFO? Yeah, that's a really good Jerry. Yeah,
it is a good Jerry. In fact, it would be so fun to do all like you're questioning. I feel like you're interviewing somebody about an account they had, to do it in a Seinfeld voice. I feel like you might get more out of them. So when you saw the entity step off the craft. Oh, that's good fun.
I don't know if we'd be allowed. We probably wouldn't ever be able to fly out of that.
No fly list. No fly list.
If we just like went there and demanded information, but
or a free fly list.
Oh yeah, we'll try for you.
Thank you. I would so appreciate it. I will send you guys the signature sandwich of Omaha, Nebraska, which is a runza.
What's
you
that?
Heard of runza?
No.
It's like a pocket sandwich. It kind of looks like a Tic Tac UFO, except for it's not white, but it's like a bread, and then inside is like ground meat, a little bit of cabbage and onion. It's kind of a Germany situation.
Okay. It's like a hollowed out.
Kind of, yes. And it's stuffed with a bunch of stuff, and people here go crazy for them.
Love a stuffed loaf.
I love a stuffed
loaf.
But
yeah.
You got a loaf? Stuff it for me.
Stuff it. Put that on my tombstone. I want to stuff. God bless America.
I want to eat that. Okay, when we go to Nebraska, which is my favorite state, by the way.
Is it really?
It is. It is, and everyone has that exact same reaction. They're like, "Oh, why?" Nebraska's so playful.
Omaha's nice. I like Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, the Platte River can't go wrong. I'm a big fan.
Look at you! Oh, whoa! You're throwing out the Platte River here.
I genuinely.
You thought she was joking.
I'm not.
I did. So, what's your fascination with Nebraska? May I ask?
I think it's just so quintessential Americana. It's just so, like, when you think of like Midwestern America, you are thinking of Nebraska. You can see for a mile. You can see the thunderstorms that won't hit you for 4 hours. You can see cows. You got like the little shitty windmills going on. Platte River is just snaking through the state. I genuinely and unironically love Nebraska. And every time I say that, people are like, is this a safe word? Are you okay?
Well, my dude, I'll tell you what, the in terms of like high strangeness in Nebraska, the eastern part of the state where I live in Omaha, but the vast majority of the UFO stuff, Bigfoot stuff, alien black cats, flying winged humanoids, ghostly apparition stuff is really concentrated in eastern Nebraska. So if you're all ever going through here, you stop by old Steve-O's, and I'll take you on a real nice little tour of some weird stuff.
Oh, yeah. Next time we drive to Denver, we'll stop.
Oh yeah,
that's a good pit stop. We'll get some of those pocket sandwiches. Yeah,
gotta get it. Nebraska's great, man.
It is. I like living in Omaha. It was, I grew up here and left when I was 18, but then came back a couple of years ago to help with my folks. They're getting older, and so just to be closer to them, and it's been really nice. It's been very pleasant. Omaha's kind of like we've always thought of ourselves as a baby Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're just kind of like a little baby Chicago. We'd like to be you. We're not there yet.
You don't want the taxes though, so you're doing better.
Yeah. Well, we have some of the highest property taxes in the country, but who owns a home anymore? No one.
Not
so
I don't know.
No, they've made it impossible for us now. So,
for sure.
Screw them. So let me ask you a question that maybe you may be tired of answering. And if you are, you can just tell me to go kick dirt.
Never.
But have you two ever had paranormal experience? And if so, have you ever had, and I guess individually have you, and then have you had one together?
Okay. This is a fun question because we're roommates. Mm-hmm. We live in a haunted house.
This attic that we're in right now is very haunted.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me?
Yes. Can I take this please. One at the beginning? Okay.
Take it away.
So I have had every house I've ever lived in has been wildly haunted. Every single one. House I grew up in. I've seen full body apparitions. I've had dolls talk to me. I err on the side of not calling myself a psychic medium because everyone and their mom thinks that they are. But I have had a lot of experiences.
Yes.
Countless. And this house is wildly haunted. And Nicole had never had an experience, really.
I had never lived in a haunted house, and it had always been a dream of mine to live in a haunted house.
So when my roommate was moving out, it lined up perfectly. I was like, Nicole, you have to move in. Like, you're my bestie.
I was looking for a place to live. She was looking for a roommate, and it was just like, perfect. We'll do this.
She's like, the house isn't really haunted because like Nicole is.
I'm a believer, but I am a skeptic first. So if like something weird happens, I try to like debunk it. I'm like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Like I love the paranormal, obviously, but my first reaction is to be like, well, wait, let's see if it could be something else. So at first I was like, Noelle's crazy.
It's a good reaction.
She's just,
I'm like,
she's just being dramatic.
I said, I promise you move in here. Day one, you will have an experience. This house is so. I have a theory that this house, again, I don't love the word portal, but this house is a lot going on here. And I said, day one, you will have an experience. You've always wanted to live in a haunted house. I hope you don't regret wishing that. And she moves in, and what happens day one?
What happened? I don't know what happened day one.
You're sleeping and a man touched your foot.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was like, wait, I'm trying to like reel it back to be like, what are the things that happened? So many things have happened to me. So I was laying in bed, right? I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like maybe like 2:33ish, and I hear like someone in my room whisper, and I heard like twat, which Noelle likes to joke and say that they were trying to call me a twat, but I don't think so.
What does that sound like? I'm sorry if you hear in the middle of the night twat.
So anyways, I wake up and I'm like, because I'm also. So between the two of us, I'm like not afraid of anything. Like I'm like, come here, like welcome. And Noelle's like, I don't want it. Like she closes her eyes. So I was like, hello, is anybody in my room with me? And then so as I say that, I sleep with 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the covers. So my foot that was out of the covers was laying on top of my comforter. So right after I said that, the edge of my comforter lifted up and my leg lifted up with it. And I like shot up, like sat up, like my immediate reaction was just like, whoa. And then it was just like it then was gone. And I was like, that was the craziest thing ever. Like, oh man. Because there was like no debunking that. Like, I mean, maybe like I had heard something, whatever, but then my actual, like the edge of my comforter lifted up and my foot lifted up with it. So you can't really explain that besides it's a ghost.
That's the manipulation of like material matter. I mean, that is very dramatic, like.
There's a few here and they're very strong.
Yes. And we've had friends too who have just been like just over for like a party or just hanging out and like they've seen things too. Like our one friend was walking to the bathroom and in order to walk to the bathroom, you have to pass Noelle's room. And he was walking to the bathroom and then he came out and he was like, hey, is Noelle home? And I was like, no, like she's not home yet. She's coming home in like an hour. And he's like, I just saw somebody in her room. I was like, well, this would be a good time to tell you that our house is haunted.
Oh yeah. And I see that person all the time.
Yeah.
So when I came home, that's the hallway watcher, I call him. So I mean, we have countless stories, but this is my dude, right? This is our guy. So I sleep with my feet are facing I always heard, don't sleep with your head facing a window unless you have a very thick headboard, because all like the energy goes out the window, right?
Interesting.
So I sleep with my feet towards a window, and then there's a mirror to the side. And I have always seen like a dark figure. Like you wake up in the middle of the night and your pile of clothes looks like a demon, like that meme.
Right.
And you're like, well, what is this, right? But I've woken up many times and I've seen this person in that exact spot that our friend said that they were standing in. I've seen this person right next to my bed. I've seen this person all around. For the longest time, I have cats. So they
nice, so do I. 2?
Yes, 2. I think we've talked about this on Twitter.
Yeah, we have.
So there's, scratching to get in the door if my door is closed. And then once I let them in, they're scratching to get out if I close the door again. So I just leave my door cracked open, maybe like 6 inches. Before Nicole moved in, I was here alone for a while. So I had my door just all the way open because whatever. And there were many nights I would wake up and I would see a full human standing in my doorway.
Like not like, so when you say full human, do you mean like it looked like a
human
like, like I always think, I have never seen an apparition, and I always think of it like 2 ways. One, it's kind of like the Hollywood see-through, kind of like holographic type thing, or it was a solid.
This person's always solid. And it's it's like a dark figure. It's not like the Hat Man that people talk about, because like there's really no hat, but it's like a head and the shoulders, and like sometimes I can see like arms, and like it's a full size human being, probably like 5'10" if I had to put a height to it. And it's always standing in the same spot. It's like when I see it in the hallway, it's facing my room. Nicole has seen and felt this person in the hallway.
I haven't seen it. I've just felt him. So I have to kind of like walk past that spot to go to the bathroom. And there have been times like in the middle of the night where I'm like, I feel like something's out there. Like I don't want to go. And I'm like, but I really have to pee.
The door, the bedroom door will open and close. There was one time pretty recently where I was in my bedroom and I was sleeping, kind of like going like in and out of sleep, like dozing off. And the door to the basement was open and my bedroom door was open, and both of them at the exact same time slammed shut. Exact same time.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All of the cats were in my bed. Her dog was in her room. There is no, like, even if the vents were open, even if windows were open, they're facing opposite directions and they're in completely different rooms.
Yeah, like one's in a hallway and one's in like the general like dining room in our house. But that's also happened too. So whenever we go on vacation, my sister will stay over and watch our pets. And that happens to my sister all of the time. She's like, oh, the ghost slammed the door on me again. Like they just like to slam doors.
We have countless stories. Absolutely countless.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. So like, Noelle, did you say that every house you've lived in has been haunted?
Yeah. Everyone.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to, theorize too much, but like, I wonder if it's you and not the places.
That's what I said. You're the one haunted.
One of those, you might be one of those people who are just sensitive and draw this stuff out.
So I think so. I honestly think so. My mom is the same way. And there's consistently been, I would say, if I had to theorize anything, and if I was gonna like, I always err on the side of like not saying definitives, because like who knows, whatever. But I will say that it got to a point where I was seeing so many figures and people and hearing so many things that I went to a psychiatrist and I was like, do I have schizophrenia?
Right.
Like, this is getting out of hand. I need to know if this is like a mental illness thing and like this stuff is existing in the real world and I'm seeing it, or if it's all in my brain. Totally good. Green flags, certificate of health. I'm solid.
Yeah. All right. Good.
No mental
Not
illness.
crazy.
I'm not. I'm just a see shit, man. So there's always consistently, every place I've lived, there's a man that is there that I would call like the man that stands in the hallway. He's always there. So maybe he's tied to me, but then there's also other things. So like in the house I grew up in, there was a dog ghost, and I would see it when I was little, and she'd walk up and down the hallway. And one time I told my dad, and my dad was raised in the house I grew up in. And he said, oh yeah, like I see her too. Like that's my dog from when I was little. And there's a German Shepherd.
Nice.
So there's consistently like this man that's always there. And he also leaves me dimes.
Dimes.
I have opened books in libraries in Salt Lake City and a dime has fallen out of them. And I attribute that to this ghost. This spirit.
I mean, it sounds like some airport activity, really, that they're making, because, coins are oftentimes associated with, airport manifestations.
Yeah. It's paying my bills, so thanks, brother.
Thank you for the dimes. Keep them coming.
Dime a day.
So, Nicole, are you kind of like, before you moved in here, you're like, bring it on, let's see it. You were kind of a paranormal tough guy. Now, are you kind of like, well,
so I've always been like, when I was little, if you talk to my mom, like I was the weirdest kid ever. Like I used to have an imaginary friend that I thought he was real. Like to me, he was real. I used to tell my mom that I used to hear voices in the basement, like really weird shit. And I don't know if it was because I was sensitive when I was younger or if I was just a kid with a wild imagination. Could have been a combination of the two. But yeah, I've never really lived. I mean, my house that I grew up in wasn't really haunted. And like I said, anywhere that I've been, if anything has happened, I've always tried to be like, okay, well, it's probably this, it's probably that. So if anything did happen to me, I just sort of like debunked it and like wrote it off. But then when I came in here, like when Noelle was like, no, this place is haunted, I'm like, I don't know if I believe you. Like you could just be a little dramatic. Like the experiences that I've had here are definitely like, I can't explain them. Like everything else, like if something weird has happened, I'm like, oh, like that could have been the wind or that could have been like something else. But here I'm like, there is absolutely no way my foot just lifted up off of my bed. There's no explaining that. So to me, like, I don't want to say I was a tough guy. I was just kind of like, I want to experience it. Like, I want to experience a ghost. I want to see something. I want something spooky to happen to me. And then obviously living here, it's like, oh, well, it's just like a normal occurrence. So it's like not a big deal anymore.
I just call him a
really.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're pretty, so like, and obviously saying on demand is probably not the right way to phrase it, but like, can you, like, let's say, and I don't know if you guys mess around with any kind of divination, like Ouija board or like, stuff to try to make stuff come to you.
Yeah.
Do you think you guys would have some results if you did use some of these tools?
So
I think so.
I've used pendulums and had results. I've used tarot cards and have results. Yeah. We've definitely experienced.
Well, when I first moved in, actually, I was prohibited by Noelle. She was like, "Don't do any witchcraft or any weird shit.
Do witchcraft. Just don't egg them on."
She was like, "Don't," because I was like, "Oh, I want to set up an altar for like the spirits, like just like something nice, like give them food offerings." She's like, "No, I don't want anything to do with it." But I think now she's come around because she was like, "Don't," because she knew I had a Ouija board. Obviously, she's like, "Don't fucking do your Ouija board."
We have one right there.
Yeah,
us.
And we've done one together in the house too. But in the beginning, I think she was just very afraid that I was gonna like set something off or make something mad and like unleash something. But now it's like she's more okay with it.
Well, I think that when from my personal experience, like my entire life, and like I said, my mom is very sensitive and she squashes it down. Like she doesn't want anything to do with it. One time I mentioned it was a full moon and she was like, "Leave my house. We're not talking about that." Like she's very like, I don't want to get it away from me.
But then sometimes she'll like text Noelle and be like, like just say something, and she'll be like, "My mom just said this," and we're like, "How the hell did she know?"
Yeah, my mom's like, "I'll call my mom an actual psychic."
Yeah, she's
wow.
Sure.
So my whole life, I've noticed that if you pay attention to it, it knows you see it, and they're like, "Hey, like you see us, like let's keep interacting." And I was always so scared of it. I'm so scared of ghosts that they can live here, we can live together, everything is fine, don't scare me. That's my only line here. It goes for Nicole too. Don't scare me.
She does. She says that. But you have been more open to it though. Yes. Since I moved in, like you've been more like welcoming and like
you make me brave.
Instead of approaching anything with fear, which is what she used to do. Now it's like we're like, oh, okay. What what do you guys want? What do you want to say? What do you need to tell us? Like,
because she's the peanut butter to my jelly.
Yeah.
She makes me break.
Yeah. Oh, you complete her. It's beautiful.
Oh,
So like, that is so wild. So have you had, like, do you feel like this translates to when you go? Because I know you guys kind of do some local investigations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have many results when you go to another location?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just went to where was that place?
Amboy Railroad Museum. It's in Southern Illinois, so I think it's like
No, I think is it Southern
Central
South?
I
don't know. It's somewhere.
It's south from us, at least.
Yeah,
but
directions are hard.
Yeah,
this isn't we don't host a geography.
It's not a geography podcast.
No, not yet.
No.
Might be an interesting idea for you though.
Yeah.
So we just went there and we did the Estes method quite a few times, and we got pretty great results.
Yeah, I think when actually, to Noelle's point of the fact that she's kind of just like open and like kind of like a conduit for all of this weird shit that's happening. When she was under and I was asking questions, we were getting like almost immediately, like at one point she said hi. I said, hi, my name's Nicole. And she said back, hi, Nicole, which was so weird. I was like, what? And I was like asking, and at one point there was this one entity who he was kind of
Ed.
Yeah, malicious. He called himself Ed. He was like coming for me. Like anytime anyone went under, like he would call for me. At one point I left the room because I wanted to like go do my own exploring on my own, and he like called me back. Which was extremely creepy.
By multiple things, he would say like Nicole, get back here.
Yeah, and so
where's the redhead?
I have a snake tattoo on my arm, and he would go, "Where's the snake?" or something. And it was really creepy. It was very, very, very creepy. And he was not a nice man, so that was just added to the creepiness of it.
Yeah. I think we were getting our best results when I was under and you were speaking.
Yeah,
to the spirits. I mean, it was like rapid fire. Like she would say, "What's on my wrist?" And at one point, I said 2 copper.
And I have copper bracelets.
And she's wearing 2 copper bracelets.
It was
or
creepy.
Snake, or like, it was immediate.
I feel like if I was in that situation and they were singling me out specifically, that would disturb me a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I came salt bath, like all the cleansing stuff afterwards, because I'm like, I don't want this, especially this guy attached to me.
Yeah. Right, and that actually brings me to a question I did have. I'm glad you brought that up. Is there a process y'all have, like after an investigation, or if something happens in the house that is like a little unsettling? Like, is there a saging situation, or you mentioned the salt bath? Like, is there something you do to kind of like make sure there's no hitchhikers at the end of an investigation?
Yeah, I think, well, for me, salt bath. And then also another good tip, like while you're investigating, if you put salt in your shoes, that's another technique I know a lot of people use. But I think just in general, like her and I, like we just burn a lot of herbs and incense. So we're just kind of like always cleansing our spaces of anything like stagnant or like any negativity that may be lingering. So, I mean, I obviously took a salt bath, but like other than that, I think you just kind of have to like feel the vibes of it. And if like something feels like it's attached to you, then I would say you probably need to do something more. But yeah, for us, I think just like incense, salt bath, salt.
I know.
That's when you call John Tenney in the middle of the night and tell him, help.
Right? Actually, Tenney taught us a lot of things that I asked him once how to claim your space. And I think that we're very good about that, where our house is our house. And I think that if anything were to try to attach to us, it's not coming through the door. Like I have like little copper horseshoe nails all over this house. Nicole, salts everywhere.
We have the salt in the 4 corners. Even somebody once said to use your own pee. Like if you use your pee, like,
we're pissing all over this house,
around the perimeter of your house. It
smells crazy in here, but it's worth it.
Everywhere.
It's wild.
There's a lot of like pee folklore. I remember I was with a group of friends. We were at a cabin, and some people were on psilocybin mushrooms, and my friend peed in a bottle while he was on mushrooms. Like, dude, I heard on Joe Rogan, if you drink your own pee while you're tripping, it's like 3 times stronger. And he did it. And he ended up ruining the night for all of us because we were all so disturbed. Like, what is going on here?
But
like,
did it work? Did it work?
He claims it did. I think it was probably because he ate more than we did.
If I may, just put a PSA out there. There's a misconception that human pee is sterile. It is not sterile. Please do not put it on wounds.
No.
Please do not drink pee.
Do not drink your pee.
Don't put anything that comes out of your body. Recycle that into you. That's not. Just this is my science corner for the day.
Unless you're like in the desert, don't drink your pee.
I mean, do what you got to do, but it is not sterile.
No, and I'll jump on that PSA and just say the whole notion of peeing on someone's leg after they get stung by a jellyfish. You're not supposed to do that. It turns out
you were super not supposed to do that.
I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think the rule of thumb is just don't pee on anyone.
Yeah.
Don't drink, anyone's pee. I think that's just a pretty safe way to be in life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's a safe. That's the moral of this episode.
If you learn one thing from this episode, just don't drink your pee.
Don't drink your pee.
That's the motto of this episode.
It's simple.
Crack open a LaCroix.
Grab it up a LaCroix.
Let's do that.
And speaking of LaCroix, let's say, imagine this, ladies. Imagine this. You're out on a great investigation. Maybe it's Southern Illinois. Maybe it's Central Illinois. We're not sure about the direction.
No one knows where we are.
It goes well. You get some good positive action afterwards. Now, I guess this is kind of a two-part question. Is there snacks that are brought? Like for a little munchy, salty, savory snacks, maybe a little dessert cookie? Or is it one of the situations like, hey, we're here to do some work, let's plug through, then reward ourselves with a delicious dinner afterwards? What's the situation food-wise on an investigation?
So I'm terrible with keeping snacks on me because whenever I have them, I just eat them immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm so bad at bringing snacks to things, but we're very much let's reward ourselves after the fact type of people.
And before this last time when we went ghost hunting, we had a beautiful meal, some drinks before we went. So we were.
That sounds elegant. It was chicken fingers and beer in a bar.
I had a hamburger.
Just painting a beautiful picture.
Fine dining to some. I mean, if there was dipping sauces, that's fine dining to me.
Chicken fingers and burgers and beers before an investigation.
That's my holy trinity right there.
And then after we had some snacks, some more drinks.
Yeah,
it's a vibe. Yeah,
you guys. Well, first off, that was the right answer.
Thank you.
I feel like drinks before and after. Yeah. I mean,
if you're like crinkling snacks, then it's gonna mess up with your EVPs,
Right. Because I was gonna ask y'all for some advice. In November, which is next month, I am going on my first official ghost investigation in a very, very scary place called the Malvern Manor in Iowa.
Oh,
I went there.
Cool.
I went there once during the day, and it gave me the big time creeps. Right. But I'm going with some I don't really know exactly who they are. A friend of mine who's into ghost hunting kind of invited me on. I think it's 5 or 6 dudes, and I think they're very serious, and they're serious about documenting stuff. And I am serious about the stuff, but I also like to have fun. Do you think if I bring a 12-pack of Modelo's in a cooler, they're going to be like, "Hey man, we're not here to party"?
I think if you're with a bunch of dudes, they're gonna be like, yeah, pass one of those over. I mean, I would.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would too.
I'm not gonna say no to Modelo.
Get the spirits flowing. Get the spirits flowing. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm with you. I feel like a cold beer is nice when you're looking into weird stuff.
Yeah. I think don't take it too seriously. I mean, suss out the vibe. If people are like, oh no, man, you can't drink that here. Don't. Whatever, maybe just put it up your sleeve, drink it yourself. Be like, oh, I'm just really.
It's in my coffee mug. It's fine.
Yeah,
there you go.
One in the bathroom and come back. I support that.
I've done it before, sister.
Preach.
I mean, if you think about it, if you're talking to the spirits and the ghosts that you're talking to, at one point they were human. So
they might
treat them.
Still be on a different
crack
plane.
one open, offer it to them, leave it on the ground. You don't know. Maybe that'll give you more
street cred.
Yeah. Or more, and you'll get more out of it because you're not just like, hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. And I am this. You're just like, hey man, want to have a beer? And then they might actually open up and talk to you.
People are sick, man. Talk to them like they're people.
Yeah.
First off, that's how I'm going to frame it to these ghost hunters. I'm saying, look, I'm offering the beer. These are not for me. If they want me to drink one, I will.
We're all going to have one,
I feel like you were kind of hinting around a question or something remind me of something that I want to ask y'all is that, and that's, do you feel that like intention and like your emotional state has something to do with how this phenomenon is going to interact with you? Like if you're scared, are
Absolutely.
you going to get scary stuff back? But if you're lighthearted, like kind of like I feel like you both are, like I guess do the results vary with intent and emotion? The emotion.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think intention in everything that we do matters, no matter what that is. I mean, if I meet you, and if we started this podcast with me going, dumb sweater, Steve, whatever, you suck, not gonna be
really bad interview.
No one's gonna have fun. But it's nice to meet you. Like, I think that your intention into anything definitely matters so much. And also the weight that you're carrying. If you just went through a breakup and you go somewhere and there was a lot of tragedy at that event, they might be drawn to you because they're feeling the same way that you feel in that moment.
Right.
I don't know.
And if you go into a situation and you're like, fuck you, ghosts, come fucking fight me. Like they're probably either not gonna talk to you or they're gonna come at you with like force and you're gonna get scary. Like if you're just like, hey, what's up? You want this beer?
Yeah.
They're not gonna be like,
yeah.
know?
We use a phrase that we definitely made up 100%, and I'm not even being a joke right there. There's imagine a little registered mark at the top, patent pending. There's a difference between paranormal investigating and paranormal instigating.
Yes.
And you want to investigate. I don't even like the term hunt, to be completely honest.
I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you.
We're not hunting anyone. I'm just, sussing the situation out, investigating it. And I'd rather be investigated as a human being that's, alive and sentient at this moment. I'd rather be investigated than instigated. So if you go in and just open minds, open hearts, open hands, like, what's up, dudes? Instead of like, how did you die? Tell me why your head got cut off in 1945. Like, that's aggressive. We don't need that.
I'm going to put this hammer right here, throw it at my face if you can.
Yeah.
And yet you see some, I mean, and maybe that's just, I don't have the actual like experience a ton of going out and doing my own investigations, but at least on like paranormal TV shows, it's always, not always, but so many times it's a bunch of like tough dudes.
Yeah.
And with Bigfoot, I would say the same thing, where they go into the forest, they have guns, and they're like, we're going to bag a Bigfoot. They're like, come out, bitch. And they're like leaving traps. I'm like, they are hunting.
She's not coming out. You call me a bitch. I'm not coming out. No, thank you.
Hell no. And like, I mean, I I feel like it's so many people go into it, and they're probably just fluffing up their chest for the TV.
It's the ratings,
but it's the ratings. But I do think it's so silly, and immediately I can't take someone seriously if they're going in there aggressive.
No. If I meet someone in the grocery store and they're wearing a too tight black t-shirt, 5 steps are bigger than my head, and they're like walking around, they're like, hey, what's up, man? Whatever, like, cauliflowers, fuck you. Bruh. Like, I'm not gonna take you seriously in real life.
No.
Like,
no.
I don't need that.
I'm sure as shit not gonna talk to you if I'm a ghost in the afterlife.
No.
I'm just gonna laugh about you to all my ghost friends. Like I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the golden rule applies to entities in the afterlife.
Yes, they are people too. Whether they are physically here, we don't know. We don't know what any of this is. We don't know if they're on another plane that's kind of like sandwiched onto ours. We don't know if we look like ghosts to them, which is what my theory is. Like we don't know what it is, but they're human beings. They're people. They're alive. They have feelings. Treat them as you would like to be treated.
Right.
Oh, I love it. I think that's lovely. Yes. Yes, and.
Yes,
and for sure.
I'm so excited for you to go on your first ghost hunt. Tell us how it is.
I will tell you all about it. I'm like equal parts like, because I am one of those people who have like intensely studied this stuff since I was a kid. I'm just a weird kid who loved weird, dark stuff. But I've always wanted to obviously have that confirmation experience. But sometimes I talk to people who have had these dramatic experiences who are like, be careful what you wish for. And is it the situation where maybe I should like chill out, like, and not like aggressive? I mean, I will never be aggressive. It's just not who I am in terms of like, I like these ideas of offering stuff and being a sweetie pie to these, I think be a sweetie pie all the time. Why not?
Yeah.
But, am I going to regret it? Like, is it going to like shock my paradigm so much where I won't be able to like now?
No, I think you should go into it. Don't go into it scared. Go into it curious. Like approach it with curiosity. Like,
yes,
like your old friends. You just want to sit and talk.
That's so brave of you to say, because I go into every single experience fucking terrified because I'm scared of ghosts. I'm scared of it. I am, and I just try really hard to just be like, hey, don't scare me too much. Like, you can say hi, but like I don't want to be scared, so like don't like pop out of me or like.
And you can say that too if they're scaring you. Just be like, can you stop? You're scaring me.
Right.
Like you always have to remember that like this is, you are alive, they are not. You are in charge. So just always remember that. Yeah.
I like that. And you know, Noelle, it's funny because you say you're scared of ghosts and you're scared of this stuff. Yet it is one of those things, almost like with true crime. Obviously, I'm not a fan of murder and people being murdered, but I'm deeply fascinated by the psychology of it. So is it one of those things for you where like, I am very scared of ghosts, yet you go out ghost hunting and you research this stuff a ton, so
I think that when you have a fear of something, I'm an anxious person. Like, I'm sure we all have the big three, right? Anxiety, crippling depression.
In this day and age, yeah.
Like,
who doesn't?
Like, whatever.
If you're human, you do.
Everything's scary all the time, right?
Yep.
You get like a diagnosis of something and you think maybe this, what is it? It's scary. You do everything you can to learn about what that is, and then it doesn't seem so scary. It's not this boogeyman. It shrinks into, facts and figures, and it's less scary if you know what you're up against.
The more you know about something, the less scary that it is. And I mean, that's with true crime too. It's like, especially being women, we watch true crime because, I mean, 9 times out of 10, the victim's a woman. She's being preyed on by a man. Women love to watch true crime because we're like, we need to know what not to do. We need to know how to survive this. Because that's like our number one predator is men. So
it's like a user manual.
I think that makes so much sense to me because like honestly, like you couldn't watch the docuseries on the Golden State Killer. There's a lot of good information about what not to do in there if you're a potential victim. That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, gosh, and as a white male, I wonder what my fascination is. I am scared. Like when I watch true crime, it freaks me out. But yet, it is one of those things where I think we're fascinated by what we fear. I've never thought about that until you said that, Noelle. That's very interesting.
Yeah, if you know your enemy, then you have an advantage, right? I mean, enemy's an aggressive term. Ghosts are my enemies. But if you know more about it, then like you feel like the playing field's a little bit more level.
Yeah.
Right. Now, your interest, obviously, just from listening to your show a lot, you guys are kind of like, and I say this in the most endearing way possible because I consider myself this way, all-purpose weirdos.
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Where I know you guys like, you love UFOs, you love cryptids and stuff like that. Do you see patterns? And, you'll even rephrase it. Do you kind of ever wonder if all these things are just different manifestations of the same thing, kind of in a John Keel type of way, where they're just kind of like, little displays that we're seeing, but it all kind of emanates from the same thing? Or do you sort of see these different phenomenons as separate weird stuff on our planet?
See, I like to just think that anything and everything is possible, because why not? So like, why Bigfoot can be a cryptid? He can also be an interdimensional being. Like, why can't it be both?
Yeah,
sure.
Why can't aliens be from outer space, but then also from another plane, or like, the hole in the
hollow earth?
Yeah, hollow earth. It could be anything. And I'm just like, no one knows what the hell this is, and nobody ever will. So I just believe it all, honestly. That's how I approach it. Like, it can be real because why not? It could be that. It could be this. It could be that.
Yeah. A new thing we're saying recently is everything is anything. Because who the hell knows?
Right. The people with very fixed beliefs in this stuff, where they're like, like ghosts are dead people, aliens are from Zibble Ganubi. I'm like, those are usually the people I kind of like back away from slowly. I'm like, okay, like, I don't know how you're so certain about this, but whatever, like.
Exactly, like ghosts they could be people who have passed. They could also just be people, like a timestamp of a person just doing a thing, and then you just see it, and that person's still alive, and they're like that, like their energy is just captured in that moment for some reason because whatever they were doing, and they could still be living 3 hours away. And like it can be both. Why not? Why can't it be both?
And it could be there is a Bigfoot, and every once in a while, the super spectrum phenomenon mimics the Bigfoot. Or same with
Totally.
It is very interesting. Oh, it's all fun to tease apart, though.
I think going back to your original question of if it's all like kind of the same thing, just like in different forms, like all the flavors of ice cream, right? So I think that I think that to break it down to like a scientific level almost, yes, 100%. Just in the same way that like this dog sitting next to me is the same thing as I am. And the radio waves that are coming through right now are the same thing that we're made up of. Every single thing is energy, period. Like we are all made of the exact same thing, just in so many different forms.
Right.
That I think that we are all the same thing. Like it's all like what if Bigfoot is just another iteration of human beings? What if Bigfoot's on another planet and like they are the apex predator just like we are, and like sometimes the paths cross. What if Mothman has their own planet? What if I don't know, people live on that planet and human beings are there too, and we're their dogs? Like everything is anything.
Yeah.
And why not? I'm no better than a squid. Octopi are smarter than human beings, just in a different way.
Right.
And we look wildly different. I think we're all aliens. We're all cryptids. We're all ghosts in some form or another. I've ghosted plenty of people, so I'm definitely they definitely think about me in the middle of the night and scream. So
one more question kind of on this little thread. Do you this is not like my idea at all, but like I do like the idea that there is perhaps no one knows a co-creational aspect to this stuff. Like kind of meaning that like however the phenomenon manifests to each of you as an individual is catered on who you are and maybe your subconscious, drawing from archetypes already within you to show you something that maybe is familiar or something that will scare you personally.
Yeah, like the creature
excite you. Yeah, and basically it kind of comes down to the question where, like, if there is a UFO in the sky or a ghost in a building or a Bigfoot in a forest, but no one is there to see it. Is it there? Does it exist?
Does it exist? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. We bumble around our house, and if the curtains are all closed, do the neighbors know we're really home?
Good point.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything's anything, man.
God bless, man. That's wonderful.
That's how you have to look at it.
And no one is an expert. That's why we started saying that everything is anything, because no one is an expert, and people will say like, I'm the world's only full-time Bigfoot investigator.
Right.
Well, no, you're probably not, Brian. Just because you call yourself that doesn't mean that you are.
Listen here, Brian.
Or I'm the world's most incredible medium. Okay,
there are lots.
Carl, sit down, brother. Like, what are you talking about? There's no way to know or quantify any of these things. We're all just people that really like weird shit, definitely watch too much X-Files, and just are trying to make it through and find other weirdos that believe in the same stuff as us without going to a scary level.
That is wonderful. And I swear to God, if these ghost hunters that I meet who I don't know if their names are Brian and Carl, I'm like, well, y'all, it was nice seeing you. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Then that would mean she is a medium. If there's a Brian and a Carl there.
I'm seeing it's a man. He's somewhere between 5'4" and 6'2". Definitely has hair on his arms for sure, 100%. But maybe I don't know. Wearing shoes. Wearing shoes, yes. So let me know if that comes true, because that's the vision.
I guarantee. I will. I will have a notebook and I will report all this to you. I have a question that I want to know so badly, being a fan of your show. And by the way, folks, if you have not heard the Quiet Unusual podcast, I will link all their stuff in the show notes, but it is so damn wonderful. It's one of those, I have a few, I do love podcasts so much, but I have a couple, I will say 2, that I look for and like pleasure delay to the right moment. To where like I like to walk and garden and do stuff like that. And I save the really good stuff for that. And I pleasure delay your show because it's a weekly treat. And I will say I love the unscripted ones just as much as I love the kind of story structured ones. But a question I have about the story ones. So, oftentimes the way the show kind of works is that one of you will research a story, topic, or an encounter, and then kind of regale the other one, with the story. Do you guys choose the story together, or is this kind of a surprise thing where it's Noelle's week and she's going to find something and, surprise Nicole?
Yeah.
Like, how does it work?
We used to do, so back when we first started, it was one person would say the story, the other person would listen, make the comments. And then when we kind of like got into the swing of things, then we started picking topics together, and we would like get our script, get what topics we wanted to talk about. Noelle would tackle one part of it, I would tackle the other, and we would kind of like
volley back and forth.
Deliver the information together. Just recently we started doing like, I'll do an episode, Noelle will do an episode. And those topics are just completely picked on our own. Like, I don't even know what Noelle's next topic is going to be.
Me either.
Fun.
That's so great. Yeah, we share a Google Drive that's full to the max, and we will not be paying for anything else. Google, so
do not do it.
Dare keep threatening us.
Don't do it.
We're not
don't do it.
Not doing it. So we share a Google Drive, and we just, whatever we have ideas, we start a script in there and we throw it in. And then like there was one I wanted to think about doing, and I kind of went through and I saw Nicole had started a script for it. So I just told her like I was going to do this. You have a script for it, like, maybe plant that seed a little bit. But otherwise we don't know. Sometimes we don't know until the moment we start recording, usually because I'm late on finishing my scripts, and I tell Nicole, oh, it's going to be on this. It's going to be on this. And I change 17 times. And then at the last moment, I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you, it's about how humans used to eat mummies. And she's like, what? I wasn't ready for that.
Well, okay. Yeah. So I guess I'll just prepare for that, I guess.
Well, the wonderful way you guys kind of perform the story, and I should, maybe perform is not the right word, but it feels so conversational. It doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel like Nicole is like lecturing Noelle on this. It's just kind of almost like you guys are sitting down having a glass of, Cabernet, and just like, well, did you ever hear about this one? I love
totally
how
that's what it is.
Casual and conversational. Well, you know what? That is wonderful. Whether it's by design or that's just the way it is. That is really one of the things I feel that makes your show so unique is the tone. I'm a big tone guy with movies, TV, kind of everything. Like the tone, and vibe is another word for tone, basically.
Vibes all day.
But the vibe really is kind of like you're sitting in the room with, like I'm in the corner just having like a Modelo, and I get to watch this amazing conversation. And these two friends, and it goes back to my idea of like, you both are such yes-anders, where if someone throws out an idea, even if it's like, there's no meat on the bones yet, the other person's going to come in and start, packing meat on these bones. That's a horrible visual.
I like
we build upon each other very.
We're something that, what is the sandwich called? A Renza. We're one of us delivers
is the loaf, the other one is the stuffing.
The other one stuffs our meat right in that loaf, and then it's getting off. Yeah. It's right there. So, I mean, that really is what it is. We record these are 15-year-old dining room chairs that are ripped out from my cats.
Record in the attic.
This is a sheet behind us for a background, so we don't look like.
It looks great.
Thank you.
It looks like you're in like actually like some kind of weird heaven.
The rest
you guys,
of
you're both wearing like white shirts. It's like a white,
We're wearing matching
never-ending Bastables.
Hell yes, I love Olive Garden.
Me too.
When you're there, your family.
There, it's really good.
The eggplant farm too, man.
Oh yeah. Salad dressing, forget about it.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, it's probably, I'd say our content's like 60% scripted because we like to tell facts and we fact check and we do deep research.
All of the research is scripted, but like all of the conversation in between is literally just if I'm saying something and Noelle's having a reaction, and then we just go back and volley it back and forth, basically.
So it's kind of like bullet points of like, all right, here's the names, the facts, the dates, the location, and then the rest you guys just kind of fill in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the key ingredient, folks. I tell you, make it conversational. Yes, and each other. If someone throws a bit out there, jump on it and support your partner.
We commit too heavily to this.
So yeah, we've been told by some of the people who have reviewed our show that we go on tangents too much, and we're like,
don't listen to them.
That's what we do, though.
So I really have a good time.
If you want to have a fact-based, just like facts read off to you podcast, we're not the podcast for you.
Read a book,
right?
Yeah, you want two friends talking about some weird shit with some facts and then also some jokes thrown in. We are the podcast for you.
Right. Well, I mean, like, I am with you because, like, I do a lot, prepare quite a bit for these, and I wrote like 30 questions for you guys. We won't even get to a third of them, which I think is great because I don't want to just rapid fire questions at you. Yeah. I feel like you guys bring up interesting things that, like, let's address those. So being willing to work on the fly, I feel like y'all do that so well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just, we can just chalk it up to both being annoying. And
it helps that we live with each other too. Like, we're same brain all of the time.
Oh, so. It's disgusting. Sometimes we will say the same word at the same time. And
have you guys done much lecturing together? And maybe the word lecture isn't like, or gone on stage at any conference, like, or
we have never
festival?
Ever.
That's a dream of ours. One day,
really.
But we have never been asked. Yeah,
there's a lot of them in the Midwest, and I tell you, I did one. I've been like the last 2 years since the pandemic and the actors strike. I'm like, well, what do I do with my life? I guess I'll go speak at some like weird monster like conventions.
Yeah.
My friends don't know what to think of me anymore. But I do. I love it so much. And I kind of threw away for like the first year and a half I was doing this. I was really trying to do like an academic lecture where I had slides. I'm like, well, in 1957, this farmer named Buck, and then I'm like, I feel like people want to see me do bits. And so I started kind of doing like paranormal stand-up at these things. Yeah. And I feel like you both would be so good at it. Here's what I'm saying. Like, I hope we both find ourselves at the same conference because it would be so fun. I feel like I would love to open for you guys. I think it would go well. Like, cause you guys passionately love this stuff so damn much. And that is so evident and clear. Really. Yeah. And I feel like it's hard, listen, like if it was a podcast about making fun of this stuff, that's good for 3 or 4 episodes. Then I think people are like, all right, they're disingenuous. But you guys are so genuine, but you're so funny, and I just think it's so wonderful and unique. I think I cannot wait to see you both on stage doing live shows. I feel like you would absolutely kill.
We would love to have the opportunity to do a live show.
Because right now we're working full-time jobs and doing this, and it's tired, and we want to flip that and make it.
Yeah,
we've been money off this.
We've never performed on stage together at all.
What is the world? What is life but a stage?
Our attic is our stage.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, like, if I get asked to do any of these, and I'm kind of like trying to figure out how to do more, I would recommend you two in a Chicago minute.
Thank you. And
no one's reaching out to us.
But if they do,
they should. I mean, they're missing the boat though, because I feel like one thing I noticed when I was doing this Van Meter, Iowa, like festival, and I was like, I just got done with COVID. I had like a lecture prepared, and I was like, I don't want to like memorize all this stuff, and so I'm like, fuck it, I'm throwing it all away, and I'm just gonna do bits. And some of the old timers there were some like old timers who were like kind of conservative dudes who did not like the cut of my jib. But a lot of the people who were from like Minneapolis and Chicago and other like kind of like cities were really liking that I was turning it into comedy. And I think there is a real thirst for that. And like with your show, I mean, I'm guessing you have a ton of listeners, and I think people want to laugh at this stuff, like
you don't want facts just regurgitated into your face. You want some fun thrown in. You want some fun and some facts and some comedy and some bits.
Life is hard, man. If I'm not laughing, I'm crying. So,
always be laughing.
Yeah. ABF. Always be funny. ABL. Always live, laugh. Lecture. I don't know. I'm getting live, laugh, light yourself on fire.
Look. Well, before I let you, first off, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You guys are an absolute joy. I had high expectations for you both, and you exceeded them. But you're so fun. Yeah. But I want to. Here's a really important question.
Okay.
So it's midweek right now, but the weekend's coming up, and maybe you want to do something special for the weekend. Is there maybe a meal that you guys would look forward to this weekend? Like maybe it's Saturday night, you're marathoning some horror movies because it's spooky season. You got a couple drinks. Is there a situation that you both could come together on and agree that would be a great dinner for this weekend?
Oh yeah.
Let's meal plan.
We're meal
prepping right now.
We're prepping right now.
I'm trying to think of what we've actually ordered.
What have we recently?
Well, we're actually big Domino's fans.
Sure.
I just got an email. We'll have a free emergency pizza, whatever that means.
You use the app. They give you points. You get a free pizza.
We're Midwestern women. We like a coupon situation.
Hey, no. Look, we're in the era where if you don't learn to use coupons, you're in big trouble.
Absolutely.
Tacos. You can't ever go wrong with tacos, though.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to say, though, the thing that we eat the most in our house, we don't actually order a lot of food together. But the style that we eat most in our house is quintessential girl dinner. We got a cheese. We got a fruit. We got a weird bread. We got a weird, meat stick. We're both in our Slim Jim era right now.
We're from the Midwest.
Yes.
Olives. I've seen her take down a jar of olives.
Olives are my favorite food. Olives and pickles.
Yeah. If you're not putting something pickled on my plate, it's not for me. So we're big snacky eaters.
Yeah.
Big snacky plate girlies, and we'll just run through. I'll make a bag of popcorn. We'll split it. We'll open a jar of pickles. We'll just sit it right in the middle of us.
Yes.
It's insane. We
crack open some brie, slice that up, some crackers.
Yep. And you know what I like about that is that it's not just like, all right, we're eating dinner, now we're done with dinner. But the grazing snack method. First off, I just want to award you 5 points on the High Strangeness podcast because you got the answer right.
Thank you.
It is a grazing snack situation. That was the proper answer.
It's like an adult Lunchable, too.
Oh, yeah. All day.
Adult Lunchable.
It's charcuterie board. Fancy, and you're not eating
It is. Oh.
I have to say, though, I need a little something sweet at the end of it. Nicole's not a sweet person.
Sure.
I am a sweet. All of my teeth are sweet teeth. So I just, I got to eat a little sweet snack at the end.
Sure, it lets you know. It lets you know that maybe snacking's done for now, but then you go back. It never stops.
Always go back.
Obviously.
Noelle, Nicole, I cannot thank you enough. This has been absolutely so much fun. You guys rule. I feel like
y'all
are new buddies. It's just so fun. Where can we tell people to find your work?
We're on all the social medias out there. Unfortunately, I live on my phone. So we're on Twitter, which I refuse to call X, but we are there.
We're there.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Threads, all under Quite Unusual Pod. We're everywhere. You can email us at quiteunusualpod@gmail.com. We have a website, quiteunusualpod.com. We're on Patreon. We do lots of fun stuff there.
Patreon, yeah. I mean, you can listen to our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts too. We're on all the platforms. So
yeah, literally everywhere. Just Quite Unusual podcast. If you Google Quite Unusual, unfortunately, there's a song called that. But we're slowly burying that deep in the...
let's bury that thing, folks.
Coming up.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, just Quite Unusual. Anyway,
and I will obviously put all that stuff in the show notes, my friends. Nicole, Noelle, you've been so wonderful. Have an amazing rest of your week and enjoy spooky season.
Yes,
thank you. We're gonna go to Olive Garden right now and eat Never Ending Pasta.
So much pasta.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
That's right.
I hope you post pictures of your meals.
We will.
We're
for
doing
you,
it.
Steve.
Yeah.
Anything.
Oh,
come on. Yeah.
My new buddies. Hey, thank you so much. You guys have a great week. Hey, and everyone out there, I hope you have great dinners tomorrow. Take care, enjoy, and be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.